Angels manager George Knox now. And we're back with Angels manager George Knox. Now, George, how was it today, huh?
Let's go.
That's
Deers
from
and Bets.
Angels in the Outfield.
Let's watch that like 10 times as much as I do. Anytime you make an Angels in the Outfield reference, I'm lost.
Well, shout out to the real ones that know, man, because if you know, you know, and that is a great movie. We could get into the details if you don't want to talk about,
I'm
you
not
know,
prepared for the Angels in
the
the Outfield
charges,
recap.
the fucking charges.
What
Yeah,
happened? They
I
fell out
don't.
23-0, the Broncos did on Sunday.
PS2 went down early, man. Concussion. I don't get it. People talk about the NFL being rigged. This is when I buy in. It's all a bunch of bullshit because they didn't want us going winning four in a row because we haven't done it since fucking '98. You know, Reagan was in a
Has it
special
really been
administrator.
that long?
No, I would say Peyton year we were 4-0 for sure.
At one point, Peyton had
Yeah,
to. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I felt bad about that the whole day, and I didn't know why. When I went up to see Dante for a little pregame belly rub, he was like, "That's my dog." By the way, y'all,
Dante the dog.
it's not my stripper I keep chained up. But yeah, I gave him the morning belly rub and I saw it in his eyes, man. And I was like, why are you looking like that, dude? Right at like 11:58. Came down, watched the games, those were good. No, see, that would have been for the 3 o'clock game. But yeah, he wasn't looking good all day, even before football. It's like the fish with those tsunamis. They know it's coming, man. And Dante
Yeah.
knows football.
It's funny you say that, though, because sometimes I wake up on a Sunday and I'm just feeling fantastic, like all is good in the world. And usually the Bucks come through the days where I'm feeling like that. And then there's some Sundays where I'm just like I feel groggy and I feel worried, like something's wrong in my gut. And more often than not, those feelings are right. It's
Yeah.
hard to say you have
Yeah, because I
that
think
type of future
I
reading.
I control it a little bit more because I do stay in touch with the guys a little bit. But like you, yeah, I don't know. You're in your own head. You got to get locked in. Cigarettes.
I'm trying to quit smoking, man. I don't
Hey,
buy cigarettes anymore. I've
he's
been
doing a good
hand
job.
rolling my own cigarettes, smoking like, 5 or 6 a day instead of like 15 or 20 a day. So I've made strides. It's tough, man. Quitting smoking is tough. It literally, like when you go with, that 8-10 hour day at work without one, it like your brain is asking for it the whole time. So the whole time you're trying to deal with everything else at work,
Yeah, you have
there's
to
like
talk to
this thing
employee.
like digging at you, like
Yeah,
smoke something, bitch.
you got to talk to employees. Your brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like a lot of conversation. You run out of minutes at one point, man. Luckily, free weekends. You should do the brain talks during the weekends, but that can't happen because at work, that's probably when you're looking to smoke a cigarette the most,
looking
man.
to
That
kill somebody some of the
That's why I quit years ago. Like I think I tried a cigarette a couple times, and it was hard to quit, but like I did it, and I was like, I think I'm gonna quit.
You're tougher than me. No, you never started
When
smoking. That's the best
Yeah, I
advice
started.
anybody can take.
I've
You
had a
never
few.
start.
I've had a few.
You've never bought a pack of cigs though, have you?
For people, but never for myself to smoke. Never.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
I
choice.
wouldn't even know what to. Yeah, I would
Good-
know. I'd be like, Camel Menthol Lights, heavy, bro. Just keep it. No, they
Sure,
would get it.
they
They
probably
would get it.
exist.
They'd be like, all
Freaking
right, now you
Let's
got a
get
bug.
into it though, man. Let's
You
get
got a
into the
bug
real
on your
talk.
shoulder.
We actually had a pretty big day of NFL news, starting with
Really?
Davante Adams being traded to the Jets. Compensation, Raiders receive a third-round pick back. That third-rounder could turn into a second-rounder if the Jets make the AFC Championship game. I'd say that's unlikely, but I wouldn't completely rule it out. And where I kind of want to focus on this, obviously this makes the Jets better. Do they win the AFC East? I still say that's the Bills division to lose. Can the Jets make the playoffs? I'd say absolutely. When you look at where the AFC wild card lines up right now, you have the Steelers at 4-2 in a wild card spot. You have the Chargers at 3-2. You have the Colts at 3-3.
Yeah.
And then the teams in the hunt are your Broncos at 3-3, the Jets at 2-4, the
Dang,
Bengals
man.
at 2-4. So what I'm getting at is they're really a game or two away from the teams they're competing against for a wild card spot. I know it's early to talk playoff scenarios, but all they need to do is, win like 4 out of 6, 4 out of 5 here, get on a little bit of a roll, and we'll see this team in the playoffs. What are your expectations for Davante going to the Jets?
Yeah, I mean,
an average game, like 80 yards, 60 yards, and a touchdown.
I think it's going to be good. I think they'll put up more numbers. I mean, they look boring as fuck.
They do. It looks like a struggle, and Rodgers hasn't looked great yet. But it's still too early for me to rule him out. We've seen him have those years in Green Bay where they start off slow. And he says he did the relax press conference, and then they won.
I thought about that last night when I thought I was going to lose that game, losing like 50 points in fantasy. And I told myself, just think about Rodgers, relax. Like, hey, but I think they're going to be right there in the hunt. I said it on our podcast before the season. We did our quarterback podcast, and I was saying that I thought he was a top 10 quarterback. Now, he hasn't shown it, but he also made weird choices like to get Allen Lazard there and like weird dude. Last night, he hung Lazard out to dry, dude. I thought Lazard was going to die on that ball into the end zone with the
middle of the end zone
coverage. Yeah. I'm like, you threw it to your logo. Yeah. But I think obviously that's going to help. It'll open up the receiver Wilson too. So the guy you like, and I think it's going to help.
Wilson will draw less double coverage. It should help him out.
It's just, it's going to be interesting that tiebreakers may come down, and like head-to-head matchups may play a huge role in playoff game, like seeding and who is in and who's out.
Like 2 or 3 teams that are 9-8.
Yeah, because we beat the Jets. Like we would have that tiebreak. You know what I mean? So but I think it was, dude. They gotta just be like, we kind of talked about it earlier off the mic, not on the podcast, but Rodgers and him have to just be like, well, this took a lot fucking longer than we thought. Like they thought they might be going to Denver together. Then Nathaniel went there. Rodgers didn't. Like, dude, now it's just like, golly. I mean, hopefully it's not too little too late for him. But I do think, I don't know. I'm just kind of sick of hearing about, like, it's a cool move. I thought it was really, they should have done it a couple weeks ago or before the season. But like you said, the draft pick would have been different. Probably they wouldn't have wanted to give him up for that, which is crazy. 3rd round pick for Davante Adams, man. That's like, I would do that. I don't know, but he could end up like DeAndre too, which yeah.
And it's tough to put it all on like Rodgers and the offense last night, because really the game would have at least went to overtime. But
Hail Mary.
Our old man Greg Zuerlein, the 2 missed field goals late. Off the upright. Young Jeezy, our old Rams kicker, Greg Zuerlein, banged 2 kicks.
Legatron, that's another one.
Either. They were like 40, 45 yarders from what I'm remembering, and he banged them both off the left upright. They didn't bounce in.
Don't stoink it or stoink it, and he doinked it right off. Fucking big last night. Oh, it was cool.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah. I didn't know the first one hit it, but the second one I was saying, oh, stoink it, and he actually banked it right off the thing. Yeah. We always said you got to get him, like, he's not used to being that close. Like he came up with the Rams. You got to get him 57 to like 60-yard field goal, and then it's money.
Yeah.
But if he's got to kick one from, a 35, you might as well punt.
Yeah, he's got the yips.
Might as well punt, yeah. And that's tough, dude. Normally the long ones, those are the easier ones to make. That's a highlight.
Nice. The ALCS just started. Yeah, we're sorry for the shitty intro, but we're recording Tuesday, October 15th. The ALCS game just started between the Guardians and the Yankees, which we'll save really getting into it until the end of the podcast. But it's nice to have a game on to watch while we're recording.
Yeah, and we got Andy in here. Cheers to Andy and Trent too. What up, big man things? How you? Oh, that's an NHL guy, right?
Yeah, that's our PlayStation buddy that we play hockey with. Cheers, guys. Andy, thanks for hopping in the chat, big man.
Yeah.
If you guys want to comment on anything, your favorite NFL team, fantasy football questions, anything,
workout tips.
Yeah, workout, push up,
Yeah, we
types
could
of push-ups. I have
like
about
push-up
8
challenge.
different types of push-ups in my repertoire.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sure Top Man's got more than I do.
I do, dude. But again, you have an apartment, but you can't go on the roof as much as I can. This is our house. I can go up there, and that might be a rest, thing going on. So
No.
I'd be careful. You know what you could do? You know those giant, like they're the towers you drive fucking the really high like electrical towers, the real high ones.
Uh-huh.
You can climb those for endurance. That actually works out because it gets your heart going because you're up so high,
I'm
and they have
scared
a
of heights, man. I
me
can't.
too, dude. That's what I'm saying. It's perfect. But once you get up there, there's a perfect platform, and you do you get your morning in there. I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah,
That's
and then
that's what
you have to climb back down to handle the rest of your day,
exactly,
so
dude.
you're
But you're
forced to
such a
put a little
euphoric
extra work
high
in.
from the lift, and if you're really daring, like what we've been doing lately with my training class, I've been teaching the people, my MMA class
Yeah, your
that
gym. Yeah,
yeah, you do pull-ups from those bars way up at the top. And it's exhilarating, dude. It's one of the biggest highs you can have. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, if you want to talk some shit in the chat or John too, we could rip on Stuttering John. I don't
yeah,
mind
that's
that.
what Andy's here for, right? Is the
I think so.
Dabbleverse
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
So,
Andy, you're a Stuttering John dude, right? You just put it out there. But anyway, all right. So, what were
well,
we talking about?
We were talking Jets. I don't really have anything else on the Jets before we move on. I'd say let's close that out. Do they make the playoffs? Yes or no? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say Rodgers finds a way with his buddy back in Davante Adams, and they find a way to finish 9-8, 10-7, and they squeeze in as that like 6th or 7th seed in the AFC. Because when I look at the teams competing for those 3 wild card spots, I just like I'd feel just as confident as them getting in as your Broncos. I'd feel more confident in them getting in than the Colts, the Chargers, kind of a toss up. And then really even the Bengals, like I'd put them on par with the Bengals as far as like my confidence level this early in the season. Do you disagree with any of that?
Yeah, no, I think they're gonna get in. I think
Yeah.
they'll get in. Yeah.
Okay.
I do. They run the ball well. Brees Hall's there, and with the addition of Davante Adams, the weird thing is, I thought their defense was like pretty good. Um, and it just hasn't. I mean, it's been good, but it's not been like the one that is going to
It
win a
hasn't been
game.
like a top defense.
Yeah, it hasn't been one to win a game. Like when Sertan got that interception against the Raiders, like we won that game. That the defense won the game, and haven't.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I know Andy. Yeah, from Kyle Stream, but yeah, Scions again. I was always there for Stuttering John, so it all kind of correlates. But yeah,
It's
he
all
was.
related.
See on me on a podcast one time when I was. There was some hillbilly that was trying to give me some shit, and I went on some rant. Way back during the Kung Flu, dude, it was pretty good. But yeah,
Right.
our boy Kyle.
All
But
right.
so impressive team, right? Or was that where we're
Well,
headed?
let's before we get into that, let's just talk a little Bucks, man, because
Ah, for
I've
fuck's
held it
sake! I
off for
tried to
this
skip
long.
around it.
The Bucks, yeah, you tried to skip over
I
segment 2.
tried, dude. I
Yeah, good
tried,
try,
guys.
man.
I tried. I
All right,
tried.
well, my Buccaneers put up 51 points in New Orleans. Chris Godwin had an incredible day, 11 catches, 121 yards,
Tell me
couple
my fantasy.
touchdowns. He's all the way back. Chris Godwin had a down year last year. He had an incredible year, 5 seasons ago with Jameis, actually, and his first year with Brady was very good as well. And then he's kind of been battling through injuries the last couple seasons. And that was the first time I was like, wow, this guy is 100% back. He was catching, bubble screens and taking them 51 yards, stiff arming people, running people over, and then running by everybody. It was a really good day for Godwin. Bucky Irving and Sean Turner are second and third string running back. Bucky goes for 125 total yards and a touchdown. Sean Tucker goes for 192 total yards and 2 touchdowns. Our third string running back on the road in what's supposed to be a tough place to play in New Orleans. Put up a 50 burger, man.
Played a rookie quarterback, man.
What does that have to do with scoring 51 points?
The 3 turnovers that they gave you to get the ball.
We turned the ball over 3 times as well. Baker threw 3 interceptions.
Yeah, he did.
This
His face was so red, dude. When his shit was all fogged up, and you can tell he's getting mad. It looks so funny, dude.
I know.
Who's used to do that?
I was saying literally when that shot was happening, I was saying, "Calm down, Baker.
Yeah,
calm
chill
down.
out.
I still knew we were good. We just got
you're in the game. Yeah,
and,
that was craziest game on Sunday. That was amazing game.
It was wild. It made me want to start smoking cigarettes again full time.
That close to Kate Otten.
Yeah, that was
that close.
Like the start to the Sunday. So Jimmy and I do this thing where you can place a bet for the first NFL player to score during the noon games.
And we used to do the red zone on here.
Any player, and we had both talked about it before the game on a phone call. And Kate Otten, the Bucs tight end, almost hit this bet for me last year. And I said, I have a feeling. Let's get on Otten today. We both place a bet. A $3 bet wins you $300 on Kate Otten to be the first to score. The Bucs are the first team down at the 4-yard lines. It came down to them or the Texans scoring first.
Who I had also. I had Tank Dell, and
the Bucs end up scoring the first touchdown, but basically it's just Baker threw it to Chris Godwin instead of Kate Otten. Kate Otten was there right across the middle, like for a banger. It looked like it was there. I was standing up. I was ready for it, calling for Kate. Throw it to Kate Otten.
Yeah.
And it was close.
I texted you right away because, dude, if you go back to anyone watching and watch that first touchdown, the first touchdown Godwin had of the day, they ran identical routes, shadowing each
came
other.
Across the middle first, and Godwin was kind of behind him.
Yeah, and they wanted to get that linebacker to go. And the minute that linebacker kind of went onto fucking Otten, even though Otten was open as fuck, he waited that out, and the first read was to Godwin, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He probably looks at and
right
knows that
to the left.
Yeah, and that guy's gonna go a little. And the minute he went, because Otten was wide fucking open.
He
dude.
was.
Yeah.
He was.
And but those are the best though.
The thrill was there, right? You got your thrill out of the $3 bet. Whatever.
But dude, it reminded me so much of being in Vegas when nothing on the board hits at a roulette table, and you just see the dealer take everyone's
all the
chips
clink into that little trash can.
Yeah, and I'm like, there goes another building for Bovada right there. Somebody just bought a house because they're like, yeah, let's throw out different odds on all these damn players that are never gonna get one.
Right.
He popped it up.
Just an impressive day out of the Bucs offense. That was the first time. Wow, they dropped an infield fly. Wow. Props to Judge for being heads up and going to second on that, too.
That ain't Judge. It's Soto. He was on first.
Oh, it was Soto. I need to get my eyes checked, apparently. No, but Soto scored. Judge went to second. It was Judge that hit the pop-up.
Oh, Soto's on second.
But
Judge
I'm talking about Judge going to second on the drop.
He's on first.
And not giving up on it.
He's on first.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You know ball. But an impressive day for my Bucs. If you would have said Mike Evans had 2 catches for 34 yards, you never would have thought our offense put up 51 points with Evans having such a slow day.
Found a running game.
Second time ever a quarterback has thrown 3 interceptions and that offense has scored 50 or more points. Only other time that happened was that you remember the Mahomes Rams Monday night game a few years ago? That was 55-52 or something crazy.
I remember.
That's the only other time a quarterback threw 3 interceptions, 50 plus points.
Yeah. So. I loved that game too. Right when the Rams had moved here and they were lighting it up, and then they were playing the team that I hate even more.
Yeah.
That was a fun night.
The team leaves St. Louis. They're playing your most hated team, and they both look
awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was a fun
Whatever.
Game.
All right. What do we got?
All right.
Congrats to your Bucs. So, hey, and cheers to both of our squads being 3-3, because for me personally, I didn't think the Broncos
don't you put that on me. We're 4-2, bud.
Oh, yeah, my bad. But whatever. 4-2, 3. I'm 3-3. I'm saying cheers to that.
Hey, 500 and above.
Yeah,
there's
you guys get to play the Panthers twice, so 2 wins should be discredited off that fucking thing.
Give us those 2 wins right now. Yeah, cheers to that.
Speaking of impressive, or like the Panthers, actually. So the team that I picked, because one of our topics for this evening was going to be our most impressive team. So to easy transition into it, the team I'm saying that's the most impressive all so far, it has to be Washington. It just has to be what they're doing at 4-2, and they play the Panthers this week. So that then they got the Bears, and then they got the Giants, and then they got Pittsburgh. Okay, Pittsburgh could be a loss because I don't know how the hell they do it, man. But they're because you see Russell Wilson is going to be the number one this week. He's doing the one reps. Did you see that? I
I
don't
did
know.
not. I did
Yeah,
not. I
yeah.
don't like that
No,
actually.
I love it. I love it. Please, for the love of God, get him out there. And then they got the Eagles, the Cowboys. Like I don't know. Some of the numbers that really popped out I have here. Who's your team so far while I'm pulling this out though?
Yeah. I'll stay in the same conference while you did a NFC team. My most impressive team in the NFC is the Lions at 4-1. Um, just demolish a team on the Cowboys. They demolish them in Dallas. They're
Cowboys are
almost like
terrible.
toying with them with some of the trick plays, throwing it to offensive linemen left and right. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. They got two great running backs, one great wide receiver in Amon Ra, and another good one in Jamison Williams. A good
St.
to
Louis
great tight
boy.
end in Sam Laporta. You mentioned it earlier in the year when we were watching a primetime game together. They reminded you of the greatest show on turf,
Yeah, they do.
99
Yeah.
2000 Rams. The offense just seems like it's one of those offenses that just has too many things where you can play good defense, but somebody's still going to beat you. They're going to find somebody that's going to beat you. And love their coach Dan Campbell. I
Yeah.
would, other
Even
than
in
my
that
Bucks,
respect.
that's the team I want to see in the Super Bowl. Is that Lions team coming out of the NFC? I
Even in
really
that
do.
Yeah, and it's funny you brought up Dan Campbell because, like, even in that respect, a lot of people like felt bad for Vermeil at the time that late, and like because he had been known as an asshole, But then like when he run one with the Rams, no one hated him that much, and like Dan Campbell, nobody can hate at all. I don't know anyone that likes football that is like fuck, unless you're, I mean, a Packer fan or something, and you like don't want to root for them,
Right.
whatever. But like as much as I hate the Chiefs and shit, I respect Andy Reid. Like I can't look at him and be like, man, I wouldn't want to have him as a coach. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, his teams are always good. Yeah, I think they do though. They're fun. They're fun. In terms of impressive, I don't know, like, because he expected it, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess the word impressive could be taken different ways. I guess what I looked at this segment as is
That's why they're
these are the teams I would say are going to make the Super Bowl. And I'll go to my AFC team. In the NFC, it's the Lions. In the AFC, for me, it's the Ravens. I know you could say the Ravens are 4-2 and the Chiefs are 5-0, and because the Chiefs beat the Ravens, I shouldn't say the Ravens look the best, but just like from a watching standpoint, they've impressed me more than the Chiefs, even though they don't have as good of a record. Like right now, they look more like built and ready for everything than the Chiefs do. I still see the Chiefs struggling on offense I know it's Patrick Mahomes, and I said the same damn thing last year, but there's not a lot of
well,
people that scare you on the Chiefs offense. I mean,
well, they
it's kind of
wouldn't
like
be.
Kareem Hunt and Juju Smith-Schuster and a really kind of older and slower Travis
I know
Kelce.
what the
I'm not
most
real scared
impressive
of
thing
them.
about that team is their defense. Their
It
defense is
is.
incredible. We talk about it every week now that
Yeah.
it's the best combo of fucking coordinators ever. And that yeah, no, they're not gonna but like they could never be on this anyway. The Chiefs shouldn't even be in your thought because like they're not of course you're not gonna pick them because like they can't be impressive. We already know what we're
You're
gonna
yeah,
get.
you're looking at it from a standpoint of like what team impressed you the most above expectations, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
yeah.
That's fair. Yep.
That's kind of what because like I expect the Ravens. This is the October Ravens. We know that. We see that. There's years
Mhm.
past where and Lamar is running all over. Let's see it in December 15th. Show
Right.
me it on December 15th that Lamar is healthy and he's running like that. Now, what's cool is Derrick Henry, the king, quietly is leading the NFL in touchdowns. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he has been exactly what any person in a standard league drafts drafts. That's
Yeah,
what you
you
want.
need
You want those
touchdowns. You
touchdowns,
want
dude.
touchdowns.
Yeah. If
We're
you got him
talking
on your
standard fantasy football,
yeah.
non-PPR, where really yards and touchdowns are the only thing that gets you points
Yeah.
for a play.
Which is the more real
Yeah.
way to play it because you shouldn't be winning on 15 catches for
Checkdowns.
21
Yeah.
yards. Like that's kind of lame.
Right.
But yeah, so that's the way I was kind of looking at it is like in terms of impressive, like the Vikings are obviously they have to come to mind. I mean, they beat the shit out of the Texans, right? Like
They
that, and
did.
that's
They
not
did
my
pretty
pick.
convincingly. Yeah.
That's not like my pick. My other pick actually is the Texans, just because they've come out and done what they've done. But I wanted to get a little bit more into the first one that I brought up, Washington, because they're fourth in the league in rushing yards, first in the league in rushing touchdowns. So important for a rookie quarterback who is, by the way, rated. I think he has the third passer rating. Hold on, I have the number right here. Like the third passer rating in the entire league, or third in QBR, thrown
Yep.
for 1,400 yards, 6 touchdowns, 322 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns. Like
Right.
he's been CJ Stroud, like even on steroids. You know, he's kind of elevated everything they've done, and then they're mixing and matching running backs over there like nothing. And this is a brand new coach there. Like fucking Quinn just took over. And again, I brought up his post game speech last week. I don't know if you ever watched it, but he's a motivating coach, dude. He puts that hat on backwards, and it's like he turns into Bane or something, but like he turns into like Batman. Like he turns into an motivating. It's like what Salah, who got fired, was before he
Was when
went
he was a
there.
D coordinator for the
Yeah,
49ers. Well, you see
exactly.
Salah be on the sideline for the 49ers like a huge rah-rah, like intensity guy, pumping people up. Like that's
Yeah.
what Dan Quinn still is. Dan Quinn is a solid coach, except in the second half of Super Bowls. Like he did good in Dallas as a D coordinator, right? He was pretty solid as an Atlanta Falcons head coach.
That was
Um,
that was a Kyle Shanahan mistake as much as it was Dan Quinn, though,
it was
because
more play calling, game
yeah,
management, play calling. It
yeah.
was.
And again, like they're 4-2. I think they're 1-0 in the division. Now that'll be the real key, I think, for the commies. But
Right.
yeah,
Well, you
in
said they
terms
were
of
what, like third in rushing? That stuff also translates to
fourth,
December and playoff football
exactly.
too, you know?
Fourth in the league in rushing, and the really key to me was the touchdowns because they have more than even the number one team. They have 3 more than the Ravens rushing. Now, who would have thought that? And if you're doing that in that weak like, dude, I know the Giants up front might be like they had drafted well up front for the last 2 years ago. I know they had a good draft, so I don't know exactly, but they don't look great. And when you look at these other teams around, like ahead of them, it's the Ravens, the Packers, and the Niners. And like those teams are playoff teams, like no doubt right there. The Packers, maybe because their division's tough. But the Texans are like way down on that list, man. Like the Buccaneers are 2 after the commies on that.
They're
It's just,
eight. I think the Buccaneers are eighth in rushing, right? Something like that. Seventh, eighth. Actually, sixth
yeah, and here
in
it
yards.
has
If you're just looking at
Ravens,
yardage.
Packers, Niners, commies, Cardinals, Bucks. So
Yep. Cardinals, you're a little bit surprised they're up there too.
yeah, Kyler had that really big run though last
Yeah.
week, like 50, 60-yard touchdown run. But the point being, like the teams, I don't know. I feel like running the ball. They said there were some people saying that it was kind of going back to a game like that. And when you look at the Chiefs, that could be the case. It's a slower game. Every team, even the big scoring teams, are doing that. So yeah, that was my one. And like I said, then I had
You know, you've persuaded me on the commies because the commies, the Manders, what's our best? The
commies. I like commies because
commies,
it
commies.
goes from a non-politically correct name to another
It's a
non-politically correct
political
name.
city. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's too good. Commies. Yeah.
Yeah. You've persuaded me though, because when I think back to when we were in Vegas for the week 1 games, and I'm like, oh, the Bucks got a kind of easy one. We're playing Washington week 1 and this rookie quarterback. And the Buccaneers did win somewhat convincingly that day. But it was
Yeah,
also
yeah.
Jaden Daniels' very first start we lit their defense up pretty good, where even a decent Jaden Daniels day wasn't enough to match the Bucs. But like, I'm glad we got him week 1, because like, if we were playing the Commies next week, I'd be like, oh shit, we got to deal with this guy. Yeah. Plus Austin Eckler, plus Terry McLaurin, plus Brian Robinson if he comes back healthy.
Zach Ertz is there perfect for a rookie quarterback to like be a reliable tight end and make plays for you. Also be a leader. Like, he seems like the guy that would be outspoken and shit like that.
Right.
So yeah. So mine were gonna be, I'll go Houston. Just for Houston, kind of just because they're weathering the storm. I know their division isn't the best, but they had Nico get hurt and they lit it up on Sunday. They had the running back Mixon
was out for a good chunk of the season.
Because I've had him on teams in fantasy, and he's been banged up. And they're just doing their thing quietly, and they don't like to quit. They don't give up. They're gonna battle you. You're not gonna beat them, and I don't see them going down. I think Stroud he's a gamer, man.
Right.
It's exciting seeing quarterbacks, and then you hope maybe one of these guys can beat fucking Kermit City.
Well, the good news for you as a Mahomes hater, it's not going too far to call you a Mahomes hater. I don't think so. But Mahomes has to go through a heck of a lot to even get to another Super Bowl. He's got to go through Lamar, Josh Allen, CJ Stroud now. There's got to be at least one other tough one. Justin Herbert, if he's there in the AFC. The AFC is just stacked with good quarterbacks. Joe Burrow, even though the Bengals don't look good right now.
And we talk about this every week.
Joe Burrow, yeah.
And that's where the coaching makes the whole fucking difference, man.
Yeah.
That's where coaching, it comes down to Andy Reid and those guys, and it's a shame.
It's just kind of nuts I know Mahomes is good, but to never do worse than making it to an AFC championship game like 6 years in a row now, it's just a little bit wild. You'd have to expect they have a hiccup one of these years where they get beat in the first or second round. All it takes is having one bad day or running into a team that's just too hot,
You know something, Matt?
What's that?
I've said prayers about this for about 8 years now, man.
Hasn't happened.
I woke up one time. The Titans were beating them 17-0 in a playoff game. I don't know why I woke up that late. Snowy day at Arrowhead. And you were texting me like, holy shit, what's going on? When I woke up, I'm like, 17-10. 17-17. Titans try a fucking fake punt for no reason. Give it back to Mahomes right there in the 30 because it doesn't work. Then the route was on. I think they ended up winning like 45 to fucking.
Was 17. That the Titans or the Texans?
Both games sucked. They were up.
Yeah.
Both those teams were up. Dude, look, okay, this is honestly, dude, and I want, because I do sound like a hater of Mahomes, to make this clear, man. Listen. Drum roll, please. Drum roll. Dude, look at the quarterbacks, though, Mahomes has had to beat in the playoffs. And the ones, when he's had to play a good quarterback, what happened? He lost to Brady at Arrowhead in the 18 championship. He lost to Brady in the Super Bowl. Then, after that, he won before that, in between there, he won the Super Bowl against Garoppolo. No. All right. Fuck him. Then you move on from that. Go to the next Super Bowl. Hurts. Well, what's going on there? We see it. All in the playoffs. Tannehill? Are you fucking kidding me? Deshaun Watson? Dude, he's had the biggest layup. He's playing in a downtime in the league. When you look back 15, 10 years
You're leaving
ago,
out some games against Josh Allen and Burrow.
Lamar. 1 year where he had to go through that whole gauntlet. The other years, and I'm telling you, that's coaching right there. Because kicking the ball off, 3 years ago to the
CJ Stroud, he beat in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, but
the Ravens knocked him out.
Yeah, they didn't play. Yeah,
the Ravens knocked him out.
But he, God damn it, you threw me off my train of thought because I had another point. Oh, no, when I bring up the coaching, the Bills in the AFC Championship game or whatever, because I was at Shakey's, which was the worst thing you can do if you want good karma anyway. I don't know what I was thinking. But the 13-second game, when they got it up the fucking field for a field goal, that ball should have been squibbed. Coaching, dude. Yeah, why are you kicking, dude? So I'm saying that of course you bring up Lamar, but Burrow's gotten him once too in the playoffs at Kansas City. So when he plays the good quarterbacks, they can get got. When he plays these Tannehills and Deshaun and Baker Mayfield, like not that, dude, I love Baker, but I'm saying and get the call also on the helmet to helmet fucking
I
sideline
know the
pylon
play. A lot of people won't remember what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
The hit
that
on
changed the
Baker
whole
probably should have
fucking.
been a flag.
It
Yeah.
would, yeah. So if that's Mahomes, that's a flag, 100%. So it's like, dude, yeah, he said a couple times where he beats Lamar in the couple of victories against him in the playoffs. He's beat some mediocre fucking quarterbacks. Tua, didn't they beat them? Like,
Yeah.
dude,
In a game that was like
at
20
Arrowhead
degrees
out of
below
nowhere,
freezing.
they shouldn't even be. Dude, get out of it. I mean, again, he's really good. He's the one of the greatest I've ever seen play. I get it. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, but I mean, guys like Brady also lost playoff games to Mark Sanchez. You know? Oh shit, Jimmy, are you lagging
I
out? Okay, I'm starting to hear you come back. Uh-oh, we got some technical difficulties, I think. Uh-oh.
think about that yesterday, and I was like, God, dude,
Hold up.
some of the quarterbacks have been, he's had a good go back 10 years again. Darrell, what? I I hear
Yeah,
you.
dude. Yeah, things
Got
are
me?
getting really shaky for
You got
me.
me?
Yeah, okay. I think we're getting
Yeah,
there.
we're good. I think we're good, man. It kind of
Okay.
got weird for a sec there.
Yeah. We'll see how it turns out when it's
But
on
I'm
YouTube, but I was having trouble
right on.
hearing you. StreamYard couldn't
Okay.
handle the Mahomes talk.
Yeah, they tried shutting me down. But I'm saying that, yeah, I think back in when you look at some of these old playoff games, you're looking at Roethlisberger, Manning, like Brady, good fucking quarterbacks. Eli, like, dude, there was a lot more depth at quarterback then. Philip Rivers was better than the quarterbacks now, and he didn't even win shit. You know what I'm saying? There was deeper. There's going to be, and there'll be more qualified Hall of Fame quarterbacks going. Like, there won't be as many from when like 10 years ago when we were watching Peyton and Brady go at it in the playoffs. There were more Hall of Famers playing quarterback then than there are now. Now it's been a
We'll
crapshoot of
see.
shit, dude. It's been a crapshoot. No one's had the consistency that Kansas City has had at all, dude. It's a joke. They just throw random teams at the Chiefs and be like, oh, hopefully they got a shot. And then they fucking lose to them. All right, hatred done. Chiefs are
Yeah.
good. I get it.
I think it's a little bit like that most years just because some of those teams like limp into the playoffs and they don't even have their starter in the playoffs. You know, a lot of those wild card weekends, like if you think about some of those like Raiders Bengals or Colts Bengals, like the wild card game on Sunday, and it would be like Matt Schwab against freaking who the hell knows from the Raiders. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, like Matt Huntley or whatever Huntley is.
there's worse quarterbacks than that play in the playoffs than the ones Mahomes has beaten. I hear you. You can go through and mention the Tannehill games.
There has been some times where he's had a layup, like he had to beat Tannehill, Watson, and then Garoppolo.
But at the time, Watson was fucking actually good. He's
He
not the
was, and
Watson you
I
know
get
now.
that, dude. But I'm just saying, like, when we put it in perspective now, that doesn't look that impressive. When you go back and you see like Brady beat like Warner, Tommy Maddox,
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco, though.
When he
Super
could
Bowl
beat Joe
MVP.
Flacco.
But he's a Super Bowl MVP, Joe Flacco. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he was much better than anyone. That's the point. That's the point right there. Because I didn't even think about Flacco. Like, these quarterbacks were better than what Mahomes has had to deal with. It just has been that way. And sounds like an excuse. No one really brings that up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, tangent done.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. I know we started off the night with a trade, a lesser trade, but still significant enough to talk about. The Browns are trading Amari Cooper to the Bills. The Bills are thin at wide receiver. This makes a lot of sense. the Brown season is going in a way where they might as well get rid of what they can and kind of regroup, maybe rebuild even. I don't know how they're going to get out of the shitty Deshaun Watson contract, but the Bills are already solid. This makes them a little bit better, you'd think. If you have Amari Cooper in fantasy football, you're probably pretty excited about him going to a quarterback that can actually get him the ball. Makes sense. I'm all for it. Doesn't drastically change how I feel about the Bills.
No. Now, that could change once we watch him play with them because we haven't watched Amari play. I won a fantasy football playoff game against you a few years ago, and Amari had quite the night.
Don't recall Amari. Amari being part of one of these.
It was him and the Dallas defense that got you because I needed
I always think about that. It's just the Dallas defense.
It was the combo.
Cooper, I don't even remember.
I needed them to have like 30 points, 40. I don't know, like a crazy touchdown at least on defense.
And like Amari might have got you like 12, and Dallas defense got you like 25.
Exactly. That was it. Because of just like that. I don't know the exact, but it would have been exactly that. Because Amari, right before halftime, me and Seahawks were watching it back when I was upstairs gaming. And he goes, I was like, shit, dude, okay. They had 14 seconds before halftime, and we were like, dude, out route to Amari on the sideline, man. He got to. And the next play, they threw an out route to Amari on the sideline, toe tap, touchdown. And I was like, oh! And then they blocked a punt later. Yeah, I think they might have had 2 touchdowns that night, actually.
2 defensive touchdowns.
And I picked them up that week. Yeah. But so to see him on a good team will be fun, I guess. I don't know, man. It is what it is. I didn't even start. They're actually, I mean, the Bills it's weird, dude. Again, I just want to see a team beat KC. And until they really do that and win a Super Bowl, it's annoying.
It'd be nice to see. Yeah, it'd be nice to see like a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson. Like, say the Chiefs, they're undefeated right now. Say the Chiefs
are undefeated right now.
Yeah, like say the Chiefs do have the 1 seed.
Chiefs do have the 1 seed.
No, I'm saying.
You keep telling me to say it, man. I'm just trying to.
Dude, fuck off, man. The Chiefs enter this year's playoffs with the 1 seed. It'd be nice to see Josh Allen or Lamar go into Arrowhead and actually get a win against Mahomes.
Well, and Burrow's done that. AFC, you were there.
Yeah. Burrow did it in an AFC title game. He did it, and then he followed it up by losing the Super Bowl, unfortunately. But Lamar's playoff struggles, Josh Allen hasn't been able to beat Mahomes in the playoffs. It's not all on Josh Allen. He's had some good performances. But it'd be nice to see them get over that hump. Like, nobody can – those guys just can't beat Mahomes. Burrow's literally – you keep mentioning Burrow. He's like the only guy since Brady that's been able to stop him, right?
That's what I'm saying, that it's like – but all the guys that we're thinking of are mediocre. They're not going to be great.
Josh Allen and Lamar are mediocre?
We will look back at Josh Allen and be like Phillip Rivers. I think that's what we'll look at. So, I mean, you can take that with the way you want it.
Man, like, that's Hall of Fame in my book.
Maybe
Rivers is a Hall of Fame.
Is he? Did he make it?
I think he hasn't been out of the league long enough, but I think he will.
It'll be tight because like he's gonna have to go against guys like Eli and shit that actually have rings, and if you don't have the ring, then they got to put in other players too. They can't just put in 3 quarterbacks.
It's tough because if you had to, those all came out of the same draft class, right? It was
like Joe.
Eli, Roethlisberger,
they're in,
and Phillip Rivers were all in the same exact draft class. And you'd have to put Eli and Roethlisberger above Phillip Rivers.
What about Flacco?
For the playoff success.
I think you have to do Flacco too, dude. I really do. He won a Super Bowl MVP.
But he just got 1 Super Bowl.
He won more than Phillip Rivers did.
Dude. But if you looked at the numbers, I guarantee Phillip is like double. Like almost like double passing yards.
That's my point, though. I'm saying that it's like they're whatever. Josh Allen will have good numbers too, and it'll be debatable because it'll be all Mahomes. There won't be any other guys because Brady won all those 3 real quick, so he had the upper hand on all those guys, and then they came into the league, won theirs, so then it mixed it up. We need guys that come into the league, take a few away from the fucking team across the state here, man.
Yeah. It was a funny video I saw on Instagram the other day. Tom Brady posted this video, and he's got this big like trophy case behind him, like bookshelves of just all sorts of trophies. Half of them you don't even know what they are by looking at them. But he's like, "Yeah, these are my first 3 Super Bowl MVP trophies, and these were the ones before they changed the model, and then they remodeled the trophy." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's one of the new model."
Oh my God,
And then
dude.
he's like, the other one's around here somewhere. It's like, I don't know where it is right now. It's like,
yeah.
God, you motherfucker to like have 5 Super Bowl MVPs.
You can't even
I
find
don't
them.
even really know where one of the 5
Yeah.
is in your trophy
We're
collection.
tangenting, but there's another quick story with that. Belichick when Rex Ryan it was on. I always throw it out there. The Bill Belichick Football Life. Rex Ryan had just got hired, so they're doing Rex had come out and done a thing about. Yeah, I mean, when I got hired by the New York Jets, I definitely didn't come here to kiss Bill Belichick's rings or anything like that. I came here to win a football game. So then the guy was reporters calling Belichick, just doing a little like interview thing, and he's like, "For the record, where are some of your Super Bowl rings?" He's like, "Have you ever kissed your Super Bowl rings? Has anybody ever kissed your Super Bowl ring?" And he's like, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't know where." And then they're like, "Okay." And for the record, also, where are your Super Bowl rings? He's like, I don't know, probably in a box somewhere safe. It's just like he doesn't
the
even
shoebox
care.
under his bed.
Yeah, right, dude. Yeah, he jerks off with all of them on. Man, get out of here. He probably loves them. His fucking boat was named Seven Rings when that was filmed.
Good boat name.
It is.
Good boat
name. He had to get it repainted because that was in 2010. So it's like, dude, yeah. So he cares about the fucking rings. They're on his damn boat. But yeah.
Anything else you got? Except I had some Bears talk. Let's give the Bears some love. The Bears win that game in London. I know it was against the Jags. The Jags have looked like shit this year.
God, they got
Shout out to Caleb Williams, the rookie. Throws 4 touchdown passes. They score touchdowns on 5 out of 6 drives at one point. The Bears do. Caleb Williams looked like real legit for the first time. We'll see how the rest of the year goes, but it was nice to see.
Yeah, it kind of made me laugh. So, because shout out to Kayla or Doug Peterson for having the balls to know that you have enough job security that you can come to a press conference and say, "We need a culture change."
Well, maybe that means he needs to go.
That's the point. I'm like, dude, yeah, that's what. Where? Whoa! You're the guy that makes the culture. How
Yeah,
you
should be. You're supposed to be
culture
right?
change. Yeah, I was watching some guy on TV that was like, "Can you imagine if I went to my kid?" Oh, it might have been your boys, fucking Bill Simmons and whatever. Because
Bill Simmons and Cousin Sal.
Was that him where they were like, "Can you imagine if I went to my daughters and my kids and said, all right," and like my wife and said, "Guys, what we need in this house is a culture change."
Yeah.
Like, you're the
like,
dad.
That's you.
You do everything. What are you talking about? What the fuck culture change?
Yeah.
Yeah. Doug Peterson comes out and says that. I'm like, yeah, job security, dude.
It's almost like he knows he's in over his head at this point. It's like it's too late to save it. It really feels
and he's like, I'm just gonna say that it's a culture. So like, it's all kind of their fault, not so much mine. But it's like, well, you drafted all of them. You put this team should be going up right now, and instead, it's like, what the hell happened?
They were better before Peterson was there. Really, I mean, they haven't been bad the last 2 seasons. They won that playoff game 2 years ago.
Was he there? He wasn't there the first year with Lawrence? I thought he was.
It's a good question. No, because the first year was Urban Meyer. Remember?
Oh,
Urban Meyer experiment?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
So he wasn't there the first year, no.
Getting lap dances,
or at least not at the beginning of the first year. Did they hire an interim, or did they hire Doug Peterson mid-season? I don't remember.
I doubt mid-season.
They waited until the next season. Usually they don't. Usually you don't bring in somebody from outside the organization.
Not a name like that either.
Mid-season in the NFL.
Because I remember thinking, man, he's got a brand new like fucking shiny toy, like a quarterback. He has a fucking. A lot of guys would dream of that, like Bo Nix.
At the time, you would have had a lot
almost
of
had 30 yards at halftime on Sunday. Like Peyton had to be pumped knowing he could get a guy that's going to get him maybe 50 at halftime.
Right.
Peyton has to be killing himself, dude. Like watching the offense, just like, oh. Like,
Yeah.
what the
Well,
fuck
he's
is going
got
on?
Peyton knows though it's a rookie, and
Yeah.
I know they've had their little like back and forth yelling at each other. I think that's more good than bad. It shows they both
Yeah.
they think they know enough to have those conversations with each other. It's not
Yeah.
like one dude like walking away from the coach mid
Right.
conversation or
Right.
something
That's a
like
good
that
point.
deal. I'd rather
Yeah.
them be yelling at each other than walking away from each
That's a
other.
good point.
You
Bo
know?
Nix didn't like blow him off and get out of
Yeah.
it. Like, yeah, he actually showed respect and was like, all right, what do you, because this is what I saw. Like, what the fuck did you see? And let's figure out where we could get better. He does seem like a team guy, which I'm really into that. He seems like a good,
Right.
like, a leader that you'd like to see. But I don't know how he really got back to that. We go on tangents to anyone watching. It's
We
fun, man.
do. And then just to give one more guy on the Bears love, DeAndre
Oh,
Swift has started to look really good.
yeah, I dropped him 3 weeks ago. So,
I picked him up. But he's got 404 total yards in the last 3 games, 3 touchdowns. And if you look at like just his game log, the first 3 versus the last 3, he's like went from complete shit to being like one of the better fantasy running backs in the league. So I just want to thank you for your loss. And I didn't even know until you said now on the podcast that you
is
were
that
the
in
one
our
that
league?
dropped him. I have him in the Yahoo league.
Yeah, I definitely dropped him, dude.
Yeah.
I definitely dropped him.
We'll see. Right now, he's been killing it. We'll see.
Have you played him every week since you had him?
At least 2 out of 3. I think I might have not played him that first week. Yeah.
Well, I put up 134 standard league, and I
That
didn't
league's gonna
start a
be
guy.
that's gonna be a roller coaster, man. Like,
Yeah, it will.
it's too few teams in that league. It's just for bragging rights more than money.
Yeah,
It is fun to have like us and the other NHL PlayStation hockey boys just to have something to talk shit about. It's really what it is.
Sundays have become even
you know?
better because like Chetty comes in now and shit. So
Right.
all right,
Right.
man, you wanna call this one?
Let's call it there. I'd say let's talk some baseball, but I'd rather go watch the game.
Oh,
Honestly.
all right. What bets did you put in though for tonight?
I put in a bet on Judge to hit a home run. It was plus 229. $10 bet pays out $29. I put in a long shot bet on Anthony Rizzo of the Yankees to hit a home run. That was plus 700. $5 bet will cash out $45. I think that math is solid.
I have.
Those are the only 2 bets I made. I didn't feel confident betting the Yankees minus 1.5 again because it's a New York team, so there's no value like there is usually in baseball just betting a team to win money line.
Yeah.
Like usually you get a team money line in the baseball playoffs. From what I've gotten used to, you get it like minus 115, minus 120. The Yankees are already like at like minus 170. And at that point, you need to feel confident enough to bet a minus 1.5, which I did last night. And they covered,
with your heart.
but I don't want to do. I just don't. I don't know. I'm not a fan of betting baseball, and especially in the playoffs, you bet minus 1.5, and it comes down and it's a 3-2 game.
Yeah, it's like hockey. It's hockey. Oh, shout out to the Blues opening night tonight for us.
How are they doing?
I
did bet the Blues money line as well. We talked about it before we recorded. Let's see how they're doing.
We're
losing 1-0 first intermission. That's right where we want them. You said we had 2 comeback wins.
Yeah, Blues have had a hot start.
We got them right where we want them.
2 games on the road, 2 comeback wins to start the year. Then we took an L in Vegas. But if you take an L in Vegas, everyone does it, really. Anytime you go there, you might take an L.
I sure
and
did.
You still get to go. You're still in Vegas.
We wrap up there.
Yeah. Blues playoff hockey, guys. Cheers to anyone watching because it is the best time of the sports year right now. Don't take advantage of it. Cancel plans. Tell no one to fucking hang out. Tell your family if they do, they're crazy, dumb, and rude, and they're selfish. Yep. And anyone that would plan a wedding this time of year is out of their fucking mind because, we did it right. I did it the first weekend of March Madness. I was thinking that, dude.
Playoff weekend. That wasn't fantastic either.
I know.
But playoff baseball and being in the middle of the NFL season, this is the best time on the
hockey is going, 100%. NBA getting going. Yep. We're going to be, right now, October 15th. Cheers.
All right, man. Let's call it there.
And
Cheers,
one.
brother.
Cheers, man. Cheers, guys.
Let's go. Thank you, Andy. Thank you.
Yep. Cheers, Andy. Cheers,
Big man
Andy.
things.
Yep.